Hello everyone, this is Aditi and today I'm going to talk about organic farming and waste management. The contents are organic farming, history, regulation, organic farming methods, fertilizers, pest control, waste management, and waste disposal methods. The 5 R's of waste management, approaches, and best practices. So, what is organic farming? Organic farming, sustainable agricultural system that uses ecologically based pest controls and biological fertilizers derived largely from animal and plant waste and nitrogen fixing cover crops. Modern organic farming was developed as a response to the environmental harm caused by the use of chemical pesticides and synthetic fertilizers in conventional agriculture, and it has numerous ecological benefits. Compared with conventional agriculture, organic farming uses fewer pesticides, reduces soil erosion, decreases nitrate leaching into groundwater and surface water, and recycles animal waste back into the farm. These benefits are counterbalanced by higher food costs for consumers and generally lower yields. Indeed, yields of organic crops have been found to be about 25% lower overall than conventionally grown crops, although this can vary considerably depending upon the type of crop. The challenge for future organic agriculture will be to maintain its environmental benefits, increase yields, and reduce prices while meeting the challenges of climate change and an increasing world population. History. The concepts of organic agriculture were developed in the early 1900s by Sir Albert Howard, F. H. King, Rudolf Steiner, and others who believed that the use of animal manures, often made into compost, cover crops, crop rotation, and biologically based pest controls resulted in a better farming system. However, Howard, having worked in India as an agricultural researcher, gained much inspiration from the traditional and sustainable farming practices he encountered there and advocated for their adoption in the West. Such practices were further promoted by various advocates such as J.I. Rodole and his son Robert in the 1940s and onward, who published Organic Gardening and Farming magazine and a number of texts on organic farming. The demand for organic food was stimulated in the 1960s by the publication of Silent Spring by Raquel Carson, which documented the extent of environmental damage caused by the insecticides. Organic food sales increased steadily from the late 20th century. Greater environmental awareness, coupled with concerns over the health impacts of the pesticide residues and consumption of genetically modified crops, fostered the growth of the organic sector. In the United States, retail sales increased from $20.39 billion in 2008 to $47.9 billion in 2019, while sales in Europe reached more than $52 billion in 2019. The price of the organic food is generally higher than that of the conventionally grown food, depending on the product, the season, and the vagaries of supply and demand. The price of organic food can be anywhere from less than 10% below to more than 100% above that of conventionally grown produce. Regulation. Organic agriculture is defined formally by governments. Farmers must be certified for their produce and products to be labeled organic, and there are specific organic standards for crops, animals, and wildcrafted products, and for the processing of agricultural products. Organic standards in the European Union and the United States, for example, prohibit the use of synthetic pesticides, fertilizers, ionizing radiation, sewage sludge, and genetically engineered plants or products. In the EU, organic certification and inspection is carried out by approved organic control bodies the US Department of according to the EU standards. Organic farming has been defined by the National Organic Standards of the US Department of Agriculture since 2000, and there are many aggregated organic certifiers across the country. Although most countries have their own programs for organic certification, certifiers in the EU or the United States can inspect and certify growers and processors for other countries. This is especially useful when products grown organically in Mexico, for example, are exported to the United States. Organic farming methods. Since synthetic fertilizers are not used, building and maintaining a rich living soil through the addition of organic matter is a priority for organic farmers. Organic matter can be applied through the application of manure, compost, and animal byproducts such as feather, meal, or blood meal. Due to the potential for harboring human pathogens, the USDA National Organic Standards mandate that raw manure must be applied no later than 90 or 120 days before harvest, depending on whether the harvested part of the crop is in contact with the ground. Compost manure that has been turned 5 times in 15 days and reached temperatures between 55 and 77.2 degrees Celsius has no restrictions on application times. Compost adds organic matter, providing a wide range of nutrients for plants and adds beneficial microbes to the soil. Given that their nutrients are mostly in an unmineralized form that cannot be taken up by the plants, soil microbes are needed to break down organic matter and transform nutrients into a bioavailable mineralized state. In comparison, the synthetic fertilizers are already in mineralized form and can be taken up by plants directly. Soil is maintained by planting and then tilling in cover crops, which help protect the soil from erosion off season and provide additional organic matter. The tilling in of nitrogen fixing cover crops such as clover or alfalfa also adds nitrogen to the soil. Mm. Cover crops are commonly planted before or after the cash crop season or in conjunction with a crop rotation and can also be planted between the rows of some crops such as trees, fruits. Researchers and growers are working to develop organic farming, no-till, and reduce tillage practices in order to further reduce erosion. Pest control. Organic pesticides are derived from naturally occurring sources. These include living organisms such as bacteria, bacillus, thuringiensis, which is used to control caterpillar pests, or plant derivatives such as pyranthrins or neem oil. Mineral-based inorganic pesticides such as sulfur and copper are also allowed. In addition to pesticides, organic pest control integrates biological, cultural, and genetic controls to minimize pest damage. Biological control utilizes the natural enemies of pests, such as dietary insects, example ladybugs or parasitoids, to attack insect pests. Pest cycles can be distributed with the cultural controls of which crop rotation is the most widely used. Financially, traditional plant breeding has produced numerous crop varieties that are resistant to specific pests. The use of such varieties and the planting of genetically diverse crops provide genetic control against pests and many plant diseases. Waste management. Waste management system is a streamlined process that organizations use to dispose of, reduce, reuse, and prevent waste. Also known as waste disposal, it is an approach where companies implement comprehensive strategies to efficiently manage wastes from their origin until their final disposal. Possible waste disposal methods are recycling, composting, incineration, landfills, bioremediation, waste to energy, and waste minimization. As for waste management, it is the measures utilized to manage waste in its entire life cycle, from the waste generation to disposal or recovery. Waste disposal methods. There are multiple waste management strategies and methods available. These strategies can be combined or rearranged to form a waste management system that fits an organization. Modern waste management strategies are geared towards sustainability. Other alternatives for waste disposal is to reduce, reuse, and recycle waste. Recycling, also known as physical reprocessing. Recycling is ideal for the disposal of organic pieces, plastic, glass, and metals. Though organic waste such as paper and food can also be recycled, composting would be a better option for waste disposal method as it converts organic waste into nutrient-rich fertilizer. Waste to energy or WTE on the other hand is a conversion of non-recyclable waste into heat, electricity or fuel using renewable energy sources such as anaerobic digestion and plasma gasification. Anaerobic digestion: the biological reprocessing of animal manure and human excreta into methane-rich biogas. Plasma gasification uses a plasma-filled vessel operating at high temperatures and low levels of oxygen to transform hazardous waste into syngas. Another option for disposing of hazardous waste is bioremediation, the treatment of contaminants, toxins, and pollutants through microorganisms. The 5 R's of waste management. The 5 R's of waste management are a set of principles that guide efforts to reduce the environmental impact of waste. These 5 R's are refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. Coming to refuse, this involves saying no to things that are unnecessary, such as single use plastics or excessive packaging. Reduce. This emphasizes the importance of minimizing the amount of waste generated by using fewer resources and being more conscious of consumption. Reuse. Instead of disposing of items after single use, consider finding ways to reuse them. This could involve repurposing items or using durable goods that have a longer lifespan. Repurpose. This involves giving items a new purpose or new use, extending their lifespan and reducing waste. Recycle. Recycling involves processing used materials into new products, reducing the need for raw materials and lowering the overall environmental impact. These principles are aimed at promoting responsible and sustainable waste management practices and encouraging individuals and businesses to be more mindful of their consumption disposal habits. Approaches and best practices. A waste audit is an assessment of an organization's waste management system. It analyzes the movement of waste from generation to disposal. Common approaches for conducting waste audits are records, examination, facility walkthroughs, and waste sorting. First approach involves looking at waste hauling and disposal records as well as contracts with recycling facilities. Second approach requires a team of internal auditors to identify waste generating activities through observation and interviews with employees. Third approach is the physical collection, sorting, and weighing of a sample of the organization's waste. This sample can be a day's worth of waste or collection of waste from each department. Best practices for conducting a waste audit are to refrain from releasing the audit date to the entire organization, prepare personal protective equipment and a venue for sorting beforehand, and the commit to acting on the waste and audit result. This can be achieved by creating corrective action plans for each possible result. For example, if the organization scored low on a certain area, the following steps should be done. For example, for this to work, it is essential for the organization to set the criteria before conducting the waste audit. Other tip is to use digital waste audit checklists for easy documentation and more comprehensive data analysis. Thank you.